Hello friends, today we're exploring something very exciting. React 19 is officially out and stable. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all the highlights you need to know from the React 19 release announcement. Think of this as a friendly overview rather than a deep dive, so you will get a sense of the new features and improvements without getting too lost in the weeds. I also want to give you an update on the Next.js 15 course that most of you have been waiting for. 2025 January 2nd. I will drop entire video series on Techly tutorial. Let's begin. One of the biggest additions in React 19 is the introduction of what React calls actions. These are functions that you can pass around to handle data mutations. Things like updating a user's name with an API call without having to manually manage loading states, errors, and optimistic updates every single time. In previous versions, you might have had a bunch of state calls to handle e-spending, error, and so forth. With actions, you can use asynchronous transitions that automatically handle the pending state for you. They've also made it easier to handle forms. You can now pass a function directly to the action prop of a form element. When the form submits, it will automatically handle pending states and even reset the form on success. Combine that with the new hooks like useActionState and useFormStatus, and you've got a much neater pattern for forms and data mutations. No more repetitive boilerplate for loading spinners or error states in every single form component. Another new hook, useOptimistic, lets you show changes right away before the server confirms them. For example, if a user updates their name, you can display the new name immediately and then gracefully handle the server response once it arrives. You can also revert if necessary. Next up, React 19 introduces a new API called use. Now, use is not a hook in the traditional sense, but you can call it in your render function to unwrap promises or other resources. Essentially, if use encounters a promise, React will automatically suspend until it is resolved. This can make it a lot simpler to deal with async data fetching and suspense boundaries. And unlike hooks, use can be called conditionally. React 19 also introduces two new APIs in React DOM, pre-render and pre-render to NodeStream. These new APIs allow you to generate static HTML that waits for the data to be ready. It is a step towards making static site generation more flexible and powerful. Server components continue to mature with React 19. They let you pre-render components on the server either at build time or on demand, and then hydrate them seamlessly on the client. This release stabilizes many of the server component features that have been evolving in the Canary channel. Similarly, server actions now allow client operations to trigger functions that run on the server. With the useServer directive, these functions get called remotely, making it easier to handle server-side logic without writing a ton of boilerplate code. It is all part of React's bigger push towards a full-stack hybrid rendering model. React 19 is also loaded with lots of smaller quality-of-life improvements. You can now access ref as a prop in function components. This means you no longer need forward ref in many cases. There's a code mod coming to help you transition your codebase. Hydration errors are now more understandable. React will give you a single, more detailed message rather than multiple cryptic warnings, helping you debug SSR mismatches much faster. Instead of context.provider component, you can now just render context directly for providing context values. Cleaner and much simpler. Your ref callbacks can now return cleanup functions. This makes it simpler to manage what happens when a ref-based element is removed. Use deferred value now supports an initial value, letting you specify what gets shown before the deferred value arrives. Finally, React 19 lets you place title, meta, and link tags directly in your components. React will figure out how to hoist them into the head tag for you. This means you can define page titles, authors, and style sheets right where you use them, and React ensures they appear in the correct place. So that is React 19 in a nutshell. From actions and simplified form handling to the new use API, better server rendering capabilities, improved error reporting, and richer support for metadata, styles, and scripts, this release aims to make React apps faster, cleaner, and more intuitive to write. If you like this video, hit the bell icon and subscribe to Techly tutorial. Thanks for watching.